respond to some commentaries about the questions related to AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts' relationship and the Philadelphia Eagles drama that's being surfaced around the campfire about their offense. And mind as you, is they're facing off against the Dallas Cowboys today, who won last week against the Vegas Raiders. But with AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts, they've had a tumultuous 12 weeks into the season. A lot of controversy have been surrounded about not only their relationship, but the chemistry out there on the field, the play calling. And so now AJ Brown has shut down rumors about, of course, the amid rumor drama relationship that's gone wrong, gone south. He refuses to answer questions about, the relationship between him and Jalen Hurts and then the offensive coordinator and the coaching staff. So he has no shortage of disgruntled comments while speaking with the media this season, and seemingly he remains throughout the offense week in, week out. And on Thursday, this is what Brown didn't say that many have stood out. The Atlantic Drama dropped a report earlier this week that there was frustration with the Eagles building with quarterback Jalen Hurts, specifically with his approach to zone coverage and hesitancy to throw tight windows or downfield. NFL pundits and former Eagle players alike have weighed in on the matter, and Brown made his first comments, or lack thereof, about Rossini's report on Thursday during Brown's media availability. Someone started to ask him about Hurts and the report, and halfway throughout the question, Brown started to shaking his head and politely told the reporter, "Ask me about Dallas, thank you." And I'm not gonna really show that part, but I'm not gonna really let you guys hear the audio, but you'll hear it on Twitter if you have Twitter or X. But here is my thoughts about the whole situation, the whole matter. Number one, of course, before I even get to that part, here I'll just read one more to quote. Jalen Hurts, he had made a direct response to reported frustrations with him and within the Eagles organization and said Wednesday, "I guess I get a lot of attention when things are going well, and when things are not going so well, I never run away from holding myself accountable. I think that's exactly what I've been taking the approach of doing." Oh, hey guys, what's going on? How's it going? How's it going, Alexander and Spy Dude 12? I'm just talking about the whole controversy between Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown and the Eagles' offensive coaching staff. And so, yes, here's my response to this whole situation. Now, my thing is, number one, with all this being said, Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown have got to get on the same page this season. And then after this season, I think they're going to go their separate ways. I think either the Eagles are probably going to trade AJ Brown, at the next season. Once they get to another Super Bowl or get to another conference, they're going to have to end up trading him away or letting him go. Now, there was controversy surrounding Devontae Smith's comments about the offense not going so well, but I think because Devontae Smith is not so loud and boisterous and to the forefront, I feel like he doesn't really get the kind of attention like somebody like an AJ Brown, who, if you guys had ever watched the NFL like I did, remember people like Terrell Owens, remember people like Chad Johnson, Chad Ochocinco, they have made plenty of comments like this and actually have done way worse out in the public eye than what AJ Brown was ever going to become. And in my opinion, have set a bad example for a lot of receivers, a lot of wide receivers out today that, when it comes to commodity and media controversy. And that's the thing that I have a problem with, is that, these guys getting paid like over 10, 20, 30 some $million of salary, and I ain't talking about just per year. This is just for the whole year when the season is over with, when things are done and over with. They get paid over and under the table within the organization, But then you need to deduct these guys' pay. You need to suspend them and deduct these guys' pay. That'll teach them a way and learn them a lesson of not trying to disrupt and distract the team for going into week to week basis, knowing that you got a playoff seed, knowing that you got the number one seed, and knowing that you got to have home field advantage. You don't want to end up going on the road for the last three or for the next couple of playoff games in a win or go home situation. So things like this is very important. And and if you don't have your quarterback and your top main receiver on the same page, that is a problem moving forward, and you cannot move forward with those kind of things. And also, you gotta look at the offensive coordinator Kevin Patullo as well, because he has been one of the main problems and not dialing up plays and taking shots down the field with Jalen Hurts when he needs to, and not using Saquon Barkley enough in and out of the backfield, to get open plays. So it ain't just an AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts and Kevin Patullo, controversy. It's mainly Kevin Patullo and Nick Sirianni are taking a lot of just as much of hits as Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown has. But the thing is, the guy is a new offensive coordinator, so he doesn't really do like a lot of the hooks, like the post curls, the hook and X curl routes. Oh, hey, what's going on, Mary? The hook routes, the X curl routes. You know what I mean? Like the bench X curl. Like he doesn't do these kind of route running for these guys to set up to get them open. Even wheel routes to get the running back open out of the backfield. Like that's the thing that you need to do if you're trying to get the offense back flowing again. You just can't be running the simple plays. Oh hey, Laren, hey, Laren, hey, how's it going? What's going on? So yeah, my thing is, if you want to dial up these kind of plays, you got to dial them up to a point where to get these guys active and going, because you're going to lose a lot of these guys' confidence moving forward. Because think about this. You got the Rams, you got the Seattle Seahawks, you got the Packers, the Lions. You got all these teams that are willing to challenge you for that throne. And if your offense can't put up 20-some points per game to at least compete, if not 25 plus points per game to compete, because them teams is going to put up a lot of points, especially the Lions, especially the Rams, and especially the Seattle Seahawks, because their offense is leading the league in the most explosive plays. If you cannot get these guys going, if you're Philly, whether it be A.J. Brown, whether it be Jahan Dotson, the guys that you signed, of course, Devontae Smith and John Mechie, if you can't get these guys going, then that's a problem. Then they're gonna have more bigger problems than what you already can imagine. Now, a lot of people are gonna have criticism of Jalen Hurts, because he's not throwing it around the yard like a Josh Allen or Aaron Rodgers or Joe Burrow getting 300 yards per game, passing game, or like how Brett Favre used to do back in the day, being a gunslinger. You know, the younger guy like Jordan Love is more equivalent to Brett Favre because he's a gunslinger. Jalen Hurts has never been that, even coming out of college. He was never that kind of a gunslinger quarterback. He has to be more so. You have to have complementary pieces, like what I just said before with Saquon Barkley, running the ball 25 plus times in order to get Jalen Hurts going, because he's not a drop back kind of passer, and he's never has been. That's not his game. So you got to use them other guys to elevate their game and to maneuver and make him flow better, to make his confidence grow and to have him grow within the system. But last year, during that NFC crowning and that run to the championship, the Super Bowl, they made a lot of plays work for them, because even when Saquon Barkley was getting those 50, 60-some yard gains, Jalen Hurts was still able to dial it up and get the ball down the field. To A.J. Brown, especially against the Commanders. I think he had like 6 receptions for close to 100 yards. Devontae Smith had a big 50-some yard touchdown play in the Super Bowl. And then he had a big 59-yard play in the NFC Championship game and in the divisional round. So that's what I mean. Like, you got to get your run game going, whether it be Barkley, whether it be Tank Bigsby now. You got to get your guys going. Back then, you had Kenneth Gainwell. So you got to get them other guys going in order for them to get out of the backfield. But also, people got to look at this. Your right side of your offensive line has to be able to protect him in order for him to take the shots down the field. But now since Lane Johnson is out, that's a big problem. That's a big deal for them because he is you protecting your blind side because your left guard and your right tackle are protecting your right side, which is more or less your blind side in order for him to see in order for him to see and read coverages. So that's gonna be a big problem. So with AJ Brown complaining about the offense not dialing it up and not getting explosive down the field, you gotta understand the offensive line has got to be able to protect Jalen Hurts in order for him to take the shots, in order for you to get the ball down, get the ball down the field. So he's got to be able to take all of those, whatever how he feels, the diva, the drama, the personality, take that out the way and understand that the offense is not just revolving around you, dog. You got too many talented players on that team and in the running game for you to get your receptions, to get your touches. So it's the game it's always been a game of marathons. It's always been a game of runs. You're just gonna have to. It's gonna be a lot of cycles and flows of runs. You just got to be able to surface and nurture through that. And it's always gonna be controversy no matter what. But you just got to be able to reconcile, soak in, accept whatever the media wants to say about you. You take it all in and don't even pay it attention. You just move forward and continue to move forward. And just continue to move forward. So those are my things about the importance of what they're supposed to be doing. Now, as far as what I was saying earlier about the criticism of Jalen Hurts, now let's just say this. With Jalen Hurts, yes, he's not, like I said, about these other guys that I named with the Aaron Rodgers, the Patrick Mahomes, the Josh Allens, the Joe Burrows. But the thing about what makes him special is him able to run using the run pass option and the tush push and whatnot to keep the drives going, to sustain momentum. And also, him and Lamar Jackson have faced a lot of criticism. You know, probably the two biggest and most criticism of the black quarterbacks that I've seen in quite some time. I don't even know guys like Steve McNair, Vince Young, and Randall Cunningham and Warren Moon faced this kind of criticism. The only thing I was saying is because they didn't have the team enough to find a way to win games. But they didn't face this kind of criticism, and they're winning games, at the highest level. That's the thing that what bothers me about the criticism of Jalen Hurts. The guys that I heard, what I talked about earlier with Cam Newton, put it in the top 10. I'm like, dog, have they won on the highest level for you to say that? You can't just put guys that you feel like that you like out there, that you love watching, and that are putting up the statistical numbers, and put them ahead of people that have been winning games, taking their teams far in the playoffs and in the Super Bowl like a Jalen Hurts has, and Lamar Jackson has. Well, maybe not further in the playoffs, but just making a deep postseason run is what I'm saying, is what they've been doing. And so that's my thing with when people like Cam Newton coming in and criticizing both Jalen and Lamar Jackson or Stephen A. Smith, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We've got to really hold a lot of these people accountable, and we really got to understand that these guys in the media are gonna say whatever they want to say to make controversy, to make things started to be absolutely shit talkers, absolutely Kickstarter. They want to start everything left and right to make their ends and to make the most bread throughout. To pretty much say things for shock value. But really getting back to my overall thoughts, yeah, I would say for for Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown and Devontae Smith and the rest of them, and the coaching staff, just weather through the storm and know and accept that no matter what, the play call on the field is, no matter what, the plays are not looking pretty. The offense is not always sustaining drives 100% of the time, not scoring on 100% of the time. Just know that it's going to face criticism no matter what. You're going to face, complaints about the offense no matter what. Just weather through the storm and understand that we all are in this game and we all are just advocates and watchers. But when we do achieve success, when we do achieve goals, and when you guys do achieve your goals, you have a responsibility of holding the media's feet to the fire, because they don't always hold that same energy when y'all winning. But when y'all losing, they always want to come and just basically bash you. But when it comes to just, holding the feet to the fire, they hold their feet to the fire. I feel like they'll get their offense back on track. The Eagles will get their offense back on track, and they'll get their things going throughout the season. This loss, if they do end up losing this game, this loss will probably end up helping them moving forward down the stretch. And when it gets to the postseason, they can go on a deep postseason run. and they'll make them understand, things like this. If it gets too left field, too out of hand, you already know Howie Roseman is not afraid to not only get players and sign players to get players and attract players to come to the Eagles organization. He is willing to make decisions that can offseed and supersede and really get them out of town and duck and dodge in less than a short span of time. So yeah, that's just how I feel about this whole situation with the Eagles and the whole Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown controversy. Tell me what you guys think down in the comment section below. I'm gonna get on out of here because I got a couple more videos to make. Excuse me, a couple more videos to make. So yeah, thank you all for watching and liking and sharing and subscribing. And please share this all on your all social media platforms, including Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, and Twitter. All right, I'm out of here. Peace.